Okay, so some questions about aliens. Now, so one of it, Faith asked, why are people interested in sending people to Mars to live there when people weren't made to live in space? Why are people interested in sending people to Mars when weren't made to live on Mars? Right? If you ask your parents, they say, I can't stand you anymore, you're too noisy, send you to Mars. Is that the reason? Now, why do people do that? Yes, it's true. People keep studying. And people keep governments spend a lot of money to send people out into space, and especially the planet Mars. They're very interested in Mars. Mars, you know the chocolate bar Mars? No, not that chocolate bar. Yes. Right, not that chocolate bar, Mars. That's why it's called Martian. You know Martian? Martian. Right? People, aliens that live on Mars. That's what they like to call them. Are they aliens? But the question first is, why are people so interested in sending people to Mars to live there? And Faith is very smart. Faith say, people weren't made to live in space. How do you know people aren't made to live in space? How do you know? There's no air in space. And then you die there, right? You just die there. There's no air in space. So why do people want to do that? Now, actually, why do you think so? Maybe I'll ask some people first. Grace, why? Because adults are silly. Yeah? No, adults are not silly. Good. Adults are... Why? Why do you think, Jennifer? Suddenly everyone is very close to me. Jennifer, why? They want to see if people can live in space. Why do they want to see people can live in space? Why did they want to do that? Now, so several reasons that government around the world, especially the US, they say why they want to send people to Mars, right? Why they want to send people to Mars and discover. Maybe I just one more. Maybe I ask an adult. Hey, why do you think government want to send people to Mars?
Well, they want to see whether there's life.
They want to see whether there is life. Why do they want to see whether there's life? Spend a lot of money, you know? A lot of money. Yeah, so all this. Well, these are some of the reasons why government state why they want to send people to Mars. Number one, discovery and scientific knowledge. All right, discovery and scientific knowledge. So they want to know whether there ever was life on Mars. Discovery. Any life on Mars before? Any life on Mars now? Now, when they say life, they don't necessarily mean aliens, right? Strange beings. They can mean simply like plants, organisms, living organisms, that kind of life. Now, why do they want to discover scientific and advanced scientific knowledge? Number two, because it is in a sense a show of advancement, right? So many countries are in a race. Who will send people to which planet first and discover what on the planet first, right? All the big rich countries are doing that. They are racing, challenging each other. Whoever is the first, then suddenly you're considered what kind of nation? Grace, what kind of nation? Foolish nation that spend a lot of money for nothing. What kind of nation? Very advanced. You're able to put someone, the first nation, to put someone on a planet. Like for example, on the moon. So put someone on the planet. So they feel that it shows as a nation, we are the most advanced nation on earth. So pride, that's another thing. Now, when you're most advanced, well, people want to buy technologies from you. They can become rich. Now, another one, human expansion. Yes, partly they think, now what happens if we can't live on earth anymore? What happens if we can't live on earth anymore? Well, at least there may be another planet we can live on. Yeah, maybe you just have to wear that big round oxygen mask all the time, but there's another place to stay in. All right, so that kind of thing. Well, if there is not enough space for people to live on Earth, maybe we can live in some another planet. So that kind of reason. Okay, so another reason is prosperity and morale, national morale. What's national morale? What's national morale? Anna, what's national morale? Veronica? No. No. National morale is about pride. Now, well, if you're the first nation to send someone on Mars or on the moon, do you feel very proud to belong to that nation? You do. All right, feel very proud. We belong to the most advanced nation. When there's good national morale, you can attract intelligent, smart scientists to your country, right? And then they can invent more things for your country, right? So this kind of race, all right, this kind of race. So national morale, and therefore it brings prosperity also. So some of these reasons, all right. So that is why. Answer your question, all right. That is why. Those are some of the reasons why nations do that. You're right. It's very difficult to live there, but all these are political and financial reasons. So it's ego. Now, then another question. Then should Christians be interested in space exploration? Should Christians be interested in space exploration? Should Christians be interested in being able to live on another planet? What do you think? Should Christians be that? Jason, should we? We are running out of space on Earth, habitable space. Maybe you can build a church on Mars. How about that? No. Why no?
God created the earth so we would inhabit it.
God created the earth. And God created the earth for us to inhabit earth. Now, how do we know that? How do we know that? Let's turn to Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Okay, Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Now, shall we read together? You there? Right, reading. And God said, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Now, when God created man, did God intend for man to live on another planet? Did God say, let us make man in our own image, let them have dominion over the creatures in the universe on another planet? No. Fish of the sea. The aliens that fly around in space, if there are any? No. The birds that fly in the air, in our atmosphere, right? Can birds fly in space, outer space? What do you think? What do you think, Elim? Can birds fly in outer space?
Yes, but they won't be able to live.
Yes, maybe yes. They won't be able to live. No air, right? So this fowl of the air can't be outer space, right? They'll be dead ducks. Just floating in space, dead, right? Dead ducks. Now, over the cattle lives on earth. They eat things on earth. And over all the universe. No, over all the earth. Repeatedly about things on earth. Now, the dominion is over earth. Man is meant to live on earth and rule the earth, not space. And every creeping thing that creep along Mars. You go there and say any creeping things Does God want us to explore those things? No. Again, creeping that creepeth upon the earth. Repeatedly earth, alright? So God intended men to live on earth and take care of things on earth. Alright, Grace? You want to live on outer space? Why? Because God said, God meant for Grace to live on earth. On earth. Okay? On earth. Now, what else? So that is one. So should we be interested? Interested to explore, to live there? Definitely no. Interested in, are there life on another planet and all that? God does not ask us to be interested in that. God asks us to be interested on things on earth, not the outer space. Alright? So should a Christian be interested in space exploration? I think no point. No point. So not much point. Now, if you say, well, it's interesting to read God's creation of Mars. When God created Mars, well, we discovered that Mars looks like that, has that. That is different. You're interested in God's creation of Mars. You're not interested in God creating living things on Mars. Right? God says we are interested on things on earth. Now, what else? Do you think that there are other intelligent creatures outside earth? What do you think? Are there other intelligent creatures outside the earth? What do you think, Shane? No. No other intelligent creatures outside the earth? How do you know? God only created man. Man and woman. Yeah, man as in general man. Okay, man and woman. Now, is that all? Is there other living beings? Are there living beings? Brenda, what happened to your multicolour coat? Yes, are there multiple beings? Are there other multiple beings? Are there other beings when God created? Angels. Angels are intelligent beings, right? We read of them in the Bible. Angels. Right? So Shane is man, woman, and angels. Right? Angels. So that's the other thing. God did talk about creating angels. Angels that live in the spiritual realm. Angel that can appear in the physical realm. Angel that lives in heaven. And then there are the fallen angels also. Right? So do we believe that there are other living things, intelligent beings that God created? Now let's turn to Genesis chapter 1 verse 22. Okay, chapter 1 verse 22. Now when God created, alright, when God wanted the creation, the creatures to multiply, what did He say? Let's read together. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply and fill the waters in the sea and let the fowls multiply in the earth. Multiplication. When God created and said multiply, is multiplication on the earth and the sea, and the air, on earth. Alright, so multiplication was that. And upon the face, verse 25, let's read verse 25. And God made the beast of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth. After that God saw that it was good. Alright, so all the different kinds, all on earth. In verse 24 also, the beast of the earth after his kind is always of the earth. Okay, and when God created the things in the heavens, He mentioned the things of heaven. Now, let us look. But could God have created also other things in outer space, living things in outer space? What do you think, Maggie? Did God create living things in outer space? Outer space, right? Not our atmosphere. Say, you don't think so. Why don't you think so? The Bible says that He did not. How do you know? Let's look at chapter 2. Genesis chapter 2. Okay, verses 1 to 3. Let's read together. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And in the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. When God said all his work that he created and made, he only talked about earth, life on earth, living creatures on earth, and heaven. Heaven is simply the space and the stars and the moon and the planets and angels. But God never said that he created other things on other planets and they multiply there. It's the earth. And after he finished, the Bible says on the seventh, thus the heavens, everything in the heavens, outer space also, and the earth were finished. How were it finished? Chapter 2 verse 1. Thus, this is how it was finished. The description of God's creation is described in chapter 1. Thus, the heavens and earth were finished. Finish means complete. Now, furthermore, the emphasis is in verse 2. He ended his work. Ended creation work. Because verse 3 tells us he rested from all his work which God created and made. God ended creation things, and the things that he made, he ended it on the seventh day. That's it. All the creation that's mentioned, all his work, all his creation mentioned here. No mention of living, intelligent beings on other planets. Alright, so this is what the Bible tells us. Now this is important because Noah, are you very interested in aliens living in outer space? No, not really. Are your friends in school, some of them are? Not sure. Anyone has friends who are obsessed with aliens and always very interested? No? Because your brother and sister at home is like aliens, so you don't have to look further. None. Now there are people that are obsessed. When I was in primary school, I have friends who are very obsessed. How come none? Maybe you don't know them. Very obsessed. They keep tracking. They keep reading. They will even cut out newspapers and make an exercise book and paste them. All the UFO sightings, all of these kind of things. They like it a lot. Now, in fact, I just read a few weeks back, there are many interests in the government, the US government today. You just read news. They are constantly now trying to find alien lives. Okay, they are constantly trying to find alien lives. There's a very famous, I think, rock band, and one of the singers, all his life, and this recent news, a few weeks back only, very interested in aliens all his life, and he has been researching, doing a lot of the work, and he became quite famous. The government just engaged him and his company to find alien lives for them, to go and find alien lives. Do you know that in the past, whenever any government person in the US, for example, say that they saw a UFO, or pilots that are flying and they say we saw UFOs, do you know what will happen? They're asked to keep quiet. You know why? Don't be stupid. If our pilots say there are UFOs, the whole world will panic and think we are mad. So in the past, people say there's no such thing. They always say there's no such thing. Alright? But recently, and even if the pilots spot anything and they even record it, the government will tell them, no such thing. Don't ever talk about it to the public. Don't ever mention it. It will cause public panic. It will cause all sorts of speculations. It don't. But do you know, in recent year, the government is very interested. All of a sudden, they have command. Any pilots who see any UFO sightings, you know it's UFO, unidentified flying objects. If you see any unidentified objects, you must report it, because we are interested. So suddenly they are interested. So some of you saw the news, right? Recently, some pilots saw this thing flying in space. When they are flying, and then they chase after this thing. This thing can fly so fast and change direction, and then they recorded it, and then now the government released it and say, yes, we do have sightings of UFOs, and they ask their pilots to find. And now they engage companies to help them find UFOs. Okay, so great interest in UFO now. Great interest. Why do you think so? Now governments even say they want to find out. They spend money to find out. Now, you know this area called Area 51? Area 51. What's Area 51?
It's a place where they claim to find aliens.
It's a place where they claim to find aliens. All right? Where they say aliens often appear around the area, and also it's a top secret government place that never existed. The government always denied in the past, no such thing, no such place, no such thing, no such place. What Area 51? They always denied the existence of the place. All right? But recently, they have to admit that yes, because of a law that was passed, something like free information law or something like that, so they must declare. So they finally admitted, yes, there's a place called Area 51. So they finally admitted. And Area 51 is top secret. But the government says it's top secret. Well, people always felt that Area 51 is the place where the government captured aliens. All right? Or found aliens' dead bodies. And then, or alien spacecrafts. And then they bring it to Area 51. There is a laboratory there where they cut open aliens and test their body and look at their equipment and all that. So people always say Area 51 is about that. Then the government said no such thing. It's simply our top secret testing site for aeroplanes, for new weapons, that's all. No such thing as we kept aliens there. Right? So the government said no such thing. But now suddenly they are very interested. But they admit that they have not found any aliens. That's why they're asking people to help them find aliens. So do you think there are aliens? Now, I just read another recent news. There's just so many news about this all of a sudden. Where is it? Now this man, he's known. His name is Edward Snowden. Edward Snowden. Now Edward Snowden is someone who works closely with the government. He's a former employer of the CIA. You know what CIA? Central Intelligence Agency of the US. So he used to work for them. Now this man has free access to the government website. The government has like a Google search. Understand that? US government, you know it's Google search, young ones. You Google search. In there you can type anything and find anything. Right? How to cook chicken rice. Anything. You key in, it will search the web, all the database, and find information for you. Google web, right? Google search. The government has an equivalent system, and you can type in there, and anything that is in the government agencies that are documented, you will be able to pull it out. All right. So this man has an access to that, and he says that he has searched the depths of U.S. intelligence network, and he cannot find a single record where the government is aware of any intelligent extraterrestrial life. So as far as the government database is concerned, this guy in recent news say there is none. I can't find any record where there is an alien hand that the government is operating on, the alien spaceship wheel that they left behind. None. All right? There's none. The government do not have that. So a lot of these are just speculations. They say they say there's no way anyone can hide that. It says none. Now, but yet the world is suddenly very interested. Many movies are made about this, right? Many movies constantly about aliens turn up, what do aliens do when they turn up on Earth? Justin, aliens come. The stories, they always capture you, right? And then take you to outer space. And you have followed those kind of stories. What do they do with the humans after they capture them? And there are many who come out and say, I was captured by aliens. And then what do they say after that? So, but you've captured them, how come you're here? Don't know. There were two men who always claimed they were captured by aliens. Okay, I got to move to the... But I'm telling you that what I'm telling you all these stories not to just for fun. I'm telling you the interest in aliens. And then we explain some things from the Bible after this. The interest. There's been two men who always claimed they were captured by aliens. Alright? And the world always look at them and you are just crazy. What have you been smoking, eating, drinking? What's wrong with you? There's no such thing as aliens. It's your imagination. Stop lying. But they've always maintained that they were captured by aliens. But recently they are so interested. They went back and found this 2% and started to interview. Tell us. Last time was you're stupid. Now we are very interested. They begin to be very interested. And they interview them and they say, yes, aliens caught us, took us on their spaceship. And then they draw spaceships. So they describe the spaceship. The spaceship they describe is this kind. So got dome and spaceship. Alright, this is long time ago. I don't know, maybe 50s or 30s or something. Long time ago, right? So, wow, this is the spaceship. And they describe in detail the dome and then the flying saucer, that kind of thing. Why do you laugh? Alright, Jemima, why are you laughing? Actually, why? Cornelius, why are you laughing? You don't know? Faith, why are you laughing?
Oh, it's just silly to believe that sort of stuff.
Silly to believe. Nowadays, movies are spaceship like that. Wow, nowadays the spaceship are, don't know, all sorts of things and wow, lights everywhere. Right? In those days, there's a show called I Love My Martian. Yes, then Hollywood make the Martian spaceship like that. I think today even man's aeroplane look more advanced than this, right? So you say, oh, we saw this, and then they were captured, and then they put probes on their mind, and then they studied them, then they see this alien with one eye and all that, look at them. Then after that, release them back, right? So they say those things. So now they are very interested. They interview these people. Suddenly, great interest in all this. Number one, as Christians, we know God says His creation of heaven and earth and His living things and multiply, all complete. Heaven and earth, that's it. No mention of another living creature, intelligent creature that is outside angels and men, correct? God said complete. So there's no such thing. I really saw a spaceship before. In my dreams. My dream was so real. Very real. I really saw all the lights and the moving, and I really thought it was real. It was so real. Very, very real. Until today, I have very clear image of that. I was sick and I was having a high fever. Dreams can be very real. Understand that. As far as the reality is concerned, you have to believe the Bible. Now, why do I say all this? Now, there is great interest, and some Christians, they themselves are very interested. And they keep saying, well, maybe, what about maybe? What the Bible says doesn't matter. Maybe. They're more interested in this. They see any book, any article, they are very interested. They want to go and know it. It's very foolish. All right? Just believe the Bible. Don't waste time on this, right? Noah? Who cares? Noah said, I don't care. I'm not interested. Now why? Why are we interested? Because God said, I did not create all this. Now, God created the heaven and the earth. Romans 1:22, the Bible says, professing themselves to be wise, they became unidentified, foolish people. They became fools. Right? It's foolish. In the past, people always saw this as foolish. But all of a sudden now, they are interested. They are interested. Now let's turn to 2 Corinthians 10:5. 2 Corinthians 10:5. When God says, I created heaven and earth, is complete, no other creation of living, intelligent beings. It's only on earth. Now let's read 2 Corinthians 10:5, reading together. But with many of them, 1 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 5, reading together. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. What does Bible tells us to think about? The Bible says casting down imaginations and anything that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. The knowledge of God, what God gave us is knowledge. What God reveals about who He is and what He has done. Don't let anything exalt itself. Any imagination, imagine aliens and all this. Don't let any of this exalt itself above what God revealed already. Understand that? So Christians should not be so obsessed with these imaginations of man, because until now there is no proof. And bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. Our thoughts should be controlled by what God declared in His Word. Alright? So, I don't know, maybe all of you say you're not interested. Maybe one day Elim grew up and suddenly Elim is very interested. So you should not be interested anymore, right? Because God say, every imagination that exalts itself above the knowledge of God, we ignore. We ignore. Okay? Now, then the next thing. Why are people so interested and obsessed? Do you understand the concept of conspiracy theories? Alright, young ones. Conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories. Can someone explain? Jaslyn, you know, explain conspiracy theory?
It's just like they try to explain different things.
They try to explain different things. Conspiracy theory, they always say something is real. But you know, they all conspire and try to hide it. There's something that is really happening. There's a conspiracy happening. But they are not allowing. Alright, so someone found a definition. Alright, what is a conspiracy theory? A belief, some covert, means secret. A belief, some secret but influential organization is responsible for some unexplained event. You see, something happened. Wow, they saw spaceship flying. They saw. And then they saw all those Stonehenge. You know Stonehenge? Those stones all stacked. Say aliens came. Conspiracy theories. Aliens, this organization of aliens, they came. They set these things up. But you know, it's secret. But it's real. Conspiracy theory. You know what's a theory? A theory is something that is just people say, this could be it, a theory, not scientific fact. Alright, conspiracy theory. Now, so people love conspiracy theory. So people love all these alien things, right? No, you like conspiracy theory? Conspiracy theory? Don't know what it is. Right, that kind of thing. Now, the other thing that people are very interested in is, well, conspiracy theory is one. Actually, what is the problem when Christians start to say, yeah, maybe they're aliens? Yes, intelligent life, far more intelligent. Whenever they talk about aliens, they usually think of them as far more intelligent than us, alright? They're far more intelligent. That's why they want to find parts of their spaceship, parts of their bodies, which don't exist, because there are no aliens. Josiah. What do you want to say? Alright, far more intelligent, conspiracy theory. Why is it very, or what do most people talk about these very vastly superior intelligent beings, aliens, coming? What do they say they come to do? Besides capture us and test us and then let us go. What else? Why did He come? Why did He come many, many, many thousands of years ago? Grace. No. Why? Don't know. Okay, the conspiracy theorists. Vincent. Why?
To observe and study us.
To observe and study us. We are dumber than them. Yeah, somebody say they come and observe and study us. Many of them say that, well, how do you explain? Alright, some conspiracy theories here. Alright, what was it? Why did they come? To eat. To eat us up. Okay, I don't know. Conspiracy theories. So don't put on weight. You very tasty to them. Now, how did the earth come about? How did we come about? How did human beings, creatures like us, come about? Because aliens. Alright? Aliens landed on earth. Long time ago. They set up civilization, they set up man. Conspiracy. And then they left. And then they left. They left us secretly. And don't want us to know that they existed. They created us and left us there. Yeah, I guess then later, once in a while, they come back and study. Are these creatures we create? Are they smarter now? Still so dumb. Then we go off again. Right? All this kind of conspiracy theory in their mind, they came to set up earth. Now, what is the problem with that? What's the problem with that? Jennifer, what is the problem with that? The Christians like to believe in these things. What is the problem? It's not according to the Bible. How does the Bible say we come about? God created us, not aliens. You see, the world cannot explain why there is earth, why there are humans like us on earth. So they say aliens came, very intelligent, vastly superior to us. They came and created us. The Christian must not be interested in these imaginations that exalt itself above the knowledge of God. Right? So we ignore this. So those are the problems. So we have Bible verses to tell us how to think. Now, okay, I want to answer all of this week. Then we don't have to do it anymore. So, are there intelligent creatures? Are there intelligent creatures besides men and angels? What do you think? Nancy, what do you think? Are there other intelligent creatures besides man and... Okay, I know our pets are quite intelligent. Man and what God created as creatures on earth. Outer space intelligent creatures. You think any? As far as we know what the Bible tells us, no. There are none. Now, God said that He created man in whose image? In His image, right? In His image. And God did not mention anything about other creatures that is in another image. So, now even if there are other intelligent creatures, even if, and there is none, the Bible says that God did not create, then in whose image? God did not mention all this. And when creation fall, when mankind fell, then what happened to the aliens? What happened to the aliens? Maybe the aliens did not fall. So maybe they do not need Jesus to die for them. So all sorts of things that Christians began to imagine. But let me ask you, when sin occurred, God's creation was affected. There is no living thing that was not affected. Right? How do we know that? Now please turn to Romans 8:20. Romans 8:20 quickly. Romans 8:20. Romans chapter 8 verse 20. Now let's read together. 20 to 22. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of Him who hath subject the same hope. because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of God. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. Now, verse 27 say, after the fall, what groan? The whole creation. The whole creation. All the creation of God groan. Is suffering the effects of the fall of man. So there is no species exempted from that. Anything that God created is affected. Travail together in pain together. So there is no such extraterrestrial being that is not affected, that is living, intelligent and separate from this fall. So everything that God made, Bible says, the whole creation groans. Right? So there's no things outside what God accounted for. Nothing outside. Now, then the last one. The last one. Okay, what about UFOs? What about UFOs? What about UFOs? So like they release videos of this pilot flying and then saw things moving, and then sometimes people say, oh, we saw UFO. We saw UFO. Alright? So how do you explain those things? Enoch, how do you explain UFOs? People say, I saw sight. And there are photographs, there are videos of it. How do you explain those things? Don't know. Not interested also. Good. Jeremy. Huh? How? How do you explain people who have sightings of UFOs and recently they released the pilots followed something flying?
There's a video of it.
Yeah. You mean you don't follow these things?
No.
Good. I have to follow because I have to prepare for this. Yeah.
Maybe some weapon testing or aircraft testing.
Some weapon testing, aircraft testing. Now, even when the government used the word UFO, at least in the past, they say unidentified flying objects. They do not say unidentified alien beings, UAB. They're not thinking of living intelligent beings. So in the past, even when the government say UFOs, they are talking about things that are flying that they can't identify. They're objects. That's it, objects. Alright? So are they objects? Very often we say, oh, we saw UFO. Then later as they go and investigate more at that time, in that location, they realize, oh, actually it was because parts of the space station, you know, space station in space, sometimes parts of it break off and then they fly, they drop off and then they enter our atmosphere, then they fly and they drop in the sky. Then later they realize, oh, it was actually part of a space station that fell into our atmosphere. That's it. That was now they identified the flying object. Okay? And others, it can many things. So even scientists have to agree that sometimes there are flares. Sometimes atmosphere changes. When the atmosphere changes, you can have certain flares, certain light, certain flares in space. All right? Have you seen aurora lights? Aurora lights. What are aurora lights? What are aurora lights? Is that how you pronounce it? I love to see them. It's when you go to like Alaska, certain places, then you're going to see this multicolor light in the air. They're moving, changing, like as if angels are floating. Very colorful, you know. I only get to watch video of them. Very amazing. Now you know it's aurora lights. Okay? Aurora lights. See all those floating things. Now if people don't know anything, they'll think, oh, angels. Or some alien fireworks. I don't know. Alien is playing with fireworks. Oh. Then they later realize it's what? Just gas, weather, interaction of this gas in the air. They produce all these effects, right? If you can produce such beautiful effects and changing effects of aurora light, many of these moving things, this flash in the sky moving and all that, many scientists also say that, well, it's some of these things that happen in the air, in space. Alright? So very often they check, oh, UFO. Then later they realized they are meteors. You know what's meteors? Again, parts of planets in space or rocks in space. They fly and then they drop into our atmosphere, and then as they're moving at very high speed, they enter this fire with it. They said meteors. They are meteors. That's meteor, right? Meteorites. Meteors. Isaac say yes. Right. Meteors. Right, meteors and all that kind of things. So very often they realize it's just these things. How do you explain unidentified flying objects? Very often after some more study they realize it's just that. That's it. There are no evidences. Because there is none. There is none. But now the question is, right, so there are lots of things up there. Lots of flying things up there. Now, the question is this. Why the great interest today about UFOs? Quickly, and then we got to finish. Why do you think so? CP, why do you think so? Why such great interest in UFOs? Why do you think so? I have my own conspiracy theory. Why do you think so, CP? Avenue for laundering money. Okay, I don't even want to ask what you mean by that. Why do you think so? Howard, why do you think the world is suddenly so interested? Do you notice there are plenty of movies today? I tried to go and just search latest movies. What are they about? It's always about aliens, extraterrestrial beings, mutants, all that kind of thing. Then they're from another planet, from another space. Why? How you got conspiracy theory?
Origins of life.
Origins of life? Oh, this one.
Science fiction is rampant.
Science fiction. I thought I mentioned that many times. Okay, Noah. Why? Why the interest? Why do you think suddenly the whole world is so interested? Government are suddenly admitting that they may be alien life. In the past, anyone who mentioned that, you're crazy. So as a military person, don't mention. We think that military people are crazy, so don't mention it. But why now, openly? Why do you think so? Why do you think so? Colin?
Maybe more people are subscribing.
More people are subscribing. Last time, lots of them. Now my conspiracy theory ran out. I was like, all right, Eugene is laughing. Why? To explain the rapture. That's my conspiracy theory. Huh? Now you notice from the beginning until now, all this, even these old-fashioned Martian movies, it's always about they capture people and then they disappear from the earth, correct? Now remember, at the rapture, all of us are just, if you're a true believer, you are going to disappear from this earth. Disappear from this earth. Now Satan must explain that. Do you understand that? Satan must explain that. Otherwise the world will say, hey, the Bible is true. He has to create enough belief. Actually, the things that people believe now are amazing. Must create enough belief that when we disappear, and then my conspiracy theory, right? Aliens came. Now, in our generation, like Colin, myself, Alex, at this age, when people talk, Howard, don't laugh so soon, right? When people talk about UFOs, we just snigger and say, these people are nuts. But many of your classmates probably really believe it. Because of the movies, because of all the talks. Now government, supposedly intelligent generals are saying, I think there is. Intelligent men admitting that there probably is. Let's go find it. Someone has to explain why we disappear, right? Aliens came and took us away. People really believe all these movies now, There are people who really believe that. Adults follow after all this. Alright, so I believe that's why there's this significant interest and more people take it seriously. So Christians, your answer to are there aliens? The Bible says God did not create any intelligent beings outside us. God created only living within our atmosphere. That's it. No aliens. God did not talk about creation beyond this. He said it's complete, done. No such thing. All these are mankind's theory. Alright? So I've answered, I think, all of the questions on that, and that's it. Okay, any other last questions? If not, we go down. No? Okay, then let us... Hey, before I say that, now, the other thing is all this creation steals, all this alien idea steals the glory from God. Do you understand that? Aliens created man. Aliens are so intelligent. God is the one that is the supreme intelligence, not aliens. Let us pray.